Hi, and welcome to A Couple of Average Joe Show. I am Mike.
I am Joe.
And this is Compelled.
The disappearance of Tylee Ryan and J.J. Vallow. I believe that we've talked about these people before. Let's start off. So Tylee Ryan and Joshua J.J. Vallow were two American children from Rexburg, Idaho, who had not been seen since September 23, 2019. Prompted by relatives concerned not only about the kids they hadn't heard from in weeks, but also about other suspicious incidents, in November of 2019, police questioned their mother, Lori Vallow, about the children's whereabouts and welfare. Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell. Now, Chad is a writer, but we'll get more into that as we go along. Told the police that JJ was staying with Melanie Gibbs in Arizona. Remember, we talked about this. The children disappeared.
Yeah.
From where they had moved in early September. When police reached Gibbs by phone, she told police that Joshua was not with her and had not been there for several months. A week later, Gibbs called police saying that both Vallow and her husband Chad had asked her to lie to police about JJ's whereabouts, but she refused. Police efforts to locate JJ led them to discover that his older sister, Tylee, was also missing. It's very important to point out that these two children are the children of Lori Vallow, not Lori Vallow and Chad, okay? These are children from another marriage.
Okay.
Further complicating the children's disappearances and lack of cooperation from the mother are a string of suspicious deaths and a shooting. In July 2019, Vallow's estranged husband, Charles, was shot and killed in Phoenix, Arizona by Lori's brother, allegedly in self-defense. Alex Cox, Lori's brother, died of an unknown cause in December of 2019. In early October, Brandon Boudreau, the then estranged husband of Lori Vallow's niece, Melanie Boudreau, was shot at in the driveway of his Gilbert, Arizona home from a vehicle still registered to the deceased Charles Vallow.
Huh. Damn.
Which prompted Boudreau to hire a private detective to investigate the suspicious incidents. It was private investigators hired by Boudreau that observed the children missing in Idaho. I sound like I said observed. Observed. Also in October, Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell, was attacked in her driveway by what she believed was someone shooting a defective paintball gun. A few weeks later, she died in her sleep from what was initially recorded as natural causes. No post-mortem autopsy was performed, but Chad Daybell married Lori Vallow just 2 weeks after Tammy's death. Law enforcement became suspicious. I would hope so.
Yeah.
And the cause of death is now under further investigation. This year. This is all in 2019. February 2020, Lori Vallow Daybell was arrested in Kauai and charged with desertion and non-support of her dependent children Tylee and JJ. Vallow, Lori, was extradited to Idaho and traveled there on Thursday, March 5th, 2020. She appeared in court on Friday, March 6th, where the judge reduced bail from $5 million to $1 million, but as of May 2nd, Vallow remains in jail. 2 local bond companies are reportedly unwilling to work with her.
I mean, well, that's normally 10%, right? So she would have to have $100,000 to get out, right?
Correct. On June 9th, police executed a search warrant at Chad's home where they discovered human remains. You can only guess what they are.
Yeah.
Daybell was booked into jail later that day on destruction or concealment of evidence. On June 10th, it was announced by both Woodcock and Ryan families that the remains of Daybell's property were that of both JJ and Tylee. However, authorities have not publicly confirmed the identity of the remains. Chad Daybell married Tamara Douglas in Manti, Utah on March 9, 1990 after graduating from Brigham Young with a Bachelor's of Arts in Journalism. Daybell worked as a cemetery sexton, a janitor. It's an officer, not a janitor. Officer of the church, congregation, or synagogue charged with maintenance of its buildings or surrounding graveyard. So, in a sense, it's a janitor. Before establishing end-of-days publisher Spring Creek Book Company in 2004, with Douglas, a graphic artist and manager, Chad and Tammy had 5 children, Garth, Emma, Seth, Leah, and Mark. In 2015, Daybell allegedly twice heard a voice telling him to relocate to Rexburg, Idaho. He and Tammy moved there from Springville, Utah in June. In October of 2019, Tylee Daybell was assaulted in her driveway by a masked man with an unloaded or defective paintball marker. Fremont County Sheriff's Office did not find the perpetrator. 10 days later, she was found dead, which we already mentioned. The reason why I'm already going through this again is to give you guys all a timeline so that we can figure out we don't need to figure it out, so that you guys understand what type of person Chad is.
Yeah.
Well, Chad and Lori, and what type of people they are. Chad claimed that she had retired the night before with a terrible cough and died in her sleep. As we said, no postmortem autopsy was performed at the time as Chad Daybell declined, and the county coroner, Brenda Dye, did not overrule his decision. 2 months later, Daybell's body was exhumed and autopsied, but the results have not been made public.
Was the coroner, I wonder if she attended his congregation.
I don't know. It's possible. Daybell was booked into jail on obstruction of or concealment of evidence. Chad's bail is set at $1 million as well. Another factor contributing to the mystery is Lori Vallow's and Chad Daybell's apparent obsession with certain end-of-times beliefs, about which Daybell has written a number of books, and together they have discussed in podcasts. Reportedly, Vallow's niece, Melanie Boudreau, shares these beliefs. That's an aside that didn't need to be said, but whatever. Lori Vallow was born in San Bernardino. She married somebody, who cares? Yeah, at age 22, she got married to William LaGoya in Travis County, Texas. She and LaGoya had a son, Colby, in 1996 before divorcing in 1998. I'm holding up a finger for how many kids that these people have spit out. So far, it is 6.
So far.
Lori married Joseph Anthony Ryan. Ryan legally adopted Colby before the couple had a daughter, Tylee, 7, born in 2002, before he filed for divorce on August 13th, 2004. The divorce was finalized in 2005. In 2007, Joseph Ryan was attacked by Lori's brother, Alex, who tasered him and threatened to murder him, then pled guilty and was sentenced to 90 days in jail. Ryan died of a myocardial infarction. Lori was known to the Ryan family as Lolo. 282 days after her previous divorce, less than a year, Lori Ryan remarried Leland Anthony Vallow, known as Charles Vallow, in Las Vegas, who had converted to the Church of Christ of Latter-day Saints. In 2013, the couple adopted Vallow's grandnephew, Joshua Jaxon, J.J. Vallow, before moving to Kauai in 2014. Around 2015, Lori Vallow read Daybell's Standing in Holy Places series of books, becoming obsessed with them. After 2.5 years in Hawaii, the Vallow family moved to Arizona. On December 5th, 2018, she first joined Daybell on the podcast Preparing a People. The episode is called Time to Warrior Up, and would do so more in the future. In 2019, Lori Vallow told her husband she no longer cared about him or JJ, and that she was the reincarnated wife of Joseph Smith.
Oh, Mormon.
Before vanishing for 58 days. That same month, Charles Vallow filed for divorce, saying that his wife had threatened to murder him and stolen US $35,000. Vallow withdrew the petition in March, saying he wanted to try to make it work. In 2020, an email written by police in Arizona revealed that Lori could soon be indicted in relation to the death of her ex-husband, Charles Vallow. A wedding ring was purchased on Amazon on October 2, 2019, 17 days before Chad Daybell's first wife, Tammy, passed away. Vallow paid for the ring on her deceased husband's Amazon account. The ring was delivered to a Rexburg townhouse and was in the name of the now deceased Charles Vallow. Lori Vallow continued to use Charles's account after his death. All right, so we've established that they're all turds of the highest order, right? It gets even better. As of September 23rd, 2019, a doorbell video of J.J. Vallow playing with a friend is the last video of him taken. Rexburg's Kennedy Elementary School is the last confirmed place he was seen. This is J.J. On September 24th, 2019, Lori contacted J.J.'s school to tell them that she has withdrawn him from school because she would be homeschooling him. Tylee was last seen at Yellowstone National Park with J.J., Lori Vallow, and her brother Alex on September 8th, 2019. Chad became unexpectedly incommunicado, last speaking with filmmaker Devin K. Hansen via text message in October. 2 Venmo payments were made from Tylee's account to her older half-brother Colby. One payment was sent on October 10th with a message that said, "We love you," and the second payment was sent on October with a heart emoji. Colby said he had not heard from Tylee since October. After text messaging Tylee indicating he was worried, he received responses from Tylee's cell phone that indicated she was safe but too busy to talk. After repeated unanswered calls to Tylee, he became more worried. Vallow and Daybell were married in Hawaii November 5th, 2019. In November, they were both telling people that Tylee had died in 2017 or that Lori had no minor children. At the request of JJ's grandmother, the police visited Lori Daybell's Rexburg, Idaho townhouse on November 26th to conduct a welfare check on JJ, but Vallow told police that JJ was in Arizona. We've discussed this before. That night, a neighbor saw Lori Vallow and her brother packing a truck outside her home when the police and the FBI arrived the next day to search. It was abandoned. Chad Daybell's home was also searched by investigators. From December 2019 to January 2020, the Rexburg Police, Fremont County Sheriff's Office, and FBI increased the investigation into Ryan and Vallow's disappearance. Tamara Daybell's suspicious death, the Daybells' flight from Idaho, and evidence was collected and Tamara Daybell's body was exhumed for autopsy. Colby Ryan and J.J. Vallow's grandparents pleaded with the Daybells to return the children, with the latter offering a reward of $20,000. Investigators contend that Joshua and Tylee's lives are in danger. The children are not with Chad and Lori. Lori knows where they are or what has happened to them, but has completely refused to assist the investigation, choosing instead to leave the state with her new husband. Through their lawyers, the Daybells said Chad Daybell was a loving husband and has the support of his children in this matter. Lori is a devoted mother and resents assertions to the contrary. We look forward to addressing the allegations once they have moved beyond speculation and rumor. It's a little bit long one, so sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
And I'm surprised. We're only 13 minutes into it.
It's a lot to memorize. I try to...
The day after being questioned, Vallow and Daybell left Rexburg, abandoning a storage locker full of children's items and photos, and were not seen until they were found in Kauai, January 26, 2020. A search warrant was issued to search their rental car. They found items belonging to the missing children. It doesn't say what it is. Police also gave Vallow a court order demanding she produce the children by January 30th, but the children were not produced as ordered. A storage locker rented by Lori in October 2019 contained items belonging to or related to JJ and Tylee, such as clothing, bikes, and photographs, was abandoned by her when she suddenly left Rexburg, Idaho. I may have been saying Ohio on accident. At the end of November, video footage shows her and others moving items in and out of the locker. Lori Vallow was arrested on February 20th, 2020 by the Kauai Police Department in Princeville on the Hawaiian island of Kauai and charged with 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children. She was also charged with resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court. She's being held, or was being held, on $5 million bail, later agreed to be extradited back to Idaho to fight the charges. In March, it was reported in official court documents that Vallow and Daybell had been convinced that Tylee and JJ had been possessed and had become zombies. Vallow appeared for a court hearing to request a reduction of her $1 million bail. The judge denied her request. This was at the beginning of May. So this is the timeline. So we get everybody together on this, okay? Chad and Tammy Daybell are married March of 1990. Lori marries Tylee's father, third husband, Joseph Anthony Ryan, in 2001. In 2006, Lori weds fourth husband, Charles Vallow. 2007, Joseph Ryan is attacked by Lori's brother Alex, who pleads guilty and is sentenced to 90 days in jail and dies soon after. Lori and Charles officially adopt the offspring of a child of Charles' sister, Kay Woodcock, who is Charles' grandnephew by birth, Joshua Vallow. So it's not even her kid. That was in July of 2014. At the end of 2014, Charles and Lori moved to Kauai with Tylee and JJ. In 2015, Lori becomes obsessed with Chad Daybell's Doomsday books. Lori and Charles moved to Arizona. Charles killed by Alex Cox. Joseph dies. Lori joins Chad's podcast. That was mid-2017. The Vallows moved to Arizona. 2018, Joseph Ryan dies of an apparent heart attack. 2018, the first documented connection of Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow on his podcast. February 2019 to March 2019, Lori mysteriously disappears for 58 days. February 8th, 2019, Charles Vallow files for divorce from Lori. In the filing, Charles claims that in late January 2019, Lori threatened to murder him if he got in the way of her preparations for Christ's second coming. See, it's all starting to come together, right?
Yeah.
July 11th, 2019, Charles is shot and killed by Lori's brother, Alexander, who claims self-defense. Neighbors report loud pool party at the same home later that day. July 12th, 2019, the next day, Lori notifies Charles' son from another marriage about his death via text. She repeatedly dodges their questions regarding the cause of his death. July of 2019, days after Charles' death, Lori finds out that Charles had changed the beneficiary of his $1 million insurance policy from Lori to his sister Kay, who is also JJ's paternal grandmother.
Aww.
August 10th, the last time grandparents Larry and Kay reportedly speak with JJ. August 30th, Lori returns JJ's service dog, citing a change in life circumstances. Then, Lori, September 2019, Lori with Tylee and JJ moved to Idaho with Chad. September 8th, Tylee is last seen in Yellowstone with Lori, Alex, and JJ. September 23rd, JJ is last seen, this is 2019, is last seen at his new school in Kennedy Elementary in Rexburg. September 24th, 2019, Lori informs JJ's school he will no longer be attending and will be homeschooled. October 1st, Lori rents storage locker in which children's belongings are later found. October 2nd, Brandon Boudreau, Lori Vallow's nephew-in-law, is the target of a failed drive-by shooting in Gilbert, Arizona by someone driving a green Jeep Cherokee still registered to Charles Vallow. October 9th, Tammy Daybell calls police after a masked assailant attempts to shoot her with a paintball gun. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I mean, that's...
It just sounds so weird.
Yeah, that's why. October 19th, Tammy Daybell is found dead in her home in Salem, Idaho, with which neighbors Rexburg by 5 miles. The death was initially ruled due to natural causes, but is under investigation as of right now. October, Lori's brother Alex, believed to be seen on video security footage using Lori's storage unit numerous times during this period, usually alone. October 31st, November 1st, Alex Cox and Lori's niece Melanie Boudreau, reportedly seen by Melanie's ex-husband Brandon, packed up in Chandler, Arizona before driving up to Rexburg and discarding children's items on the curb. Some of the information comes from a private investigator hired by Brandon after the October 2nd shooting. November 4th, Alex Cox and Melanie Boudreau arrive in Rexburg. November 5th, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell are married in Hawaii. November 26th, Rexburg Police Department conducts a well-being check on JJ. Lori claims JJ is with relatives in Arizona. Tylee is away at college at BYU, Idaho. November 27th, Chad and Lori are seen packing. They abandon everything in Rexburg, including the contents of Lori's storage unit, disappear until found in Kauai. On November 27th, Rexburg police search for the children to no avail with search warrants to the 3 apartments of Lori, Alex, and Lori's niece Melanie. November 29th, Alex Cox marries Zulema Pastinis of Gilbert, Arizona. November 30th, newly divorced Melanie Boudreau marries Ian Pawlowski of Rexburg in Las Vegas. Okay. December 11th, authorities decide to further investigate the death of Tammy Daybell. December 12th, Alexander Cox dies for unknown reasons in Gilbert, Arizona. A 911 call is made by someone who says Alex is their mother's boyfriend, and to report his collapse in the bathroom of the home of his new wife, Zulema Pastinis.
I'd have a feeling that this is going to end up as a documentary on Netflix.
I hope it does, man. I really do. This is an interesting story, and this is why I picked this story, because even though we had talked about it previously, we only just just bit on the surface.
Yeah, I mean, like, one of the things that comes to mind first is Susan Smith. Do you remember her? She was the lady that was in love with a guy, and he wouldn't be with her if she had kids, so she drove her car into a fucking lake and drowned her kids.
Yeah, but that was a while ago.
Oh yeah, it was like 20 years ago, right? But it just reminds me of what people obsessed with someone else will do to their kids just to be with someone sometimes.
Yep. Okay, so December 20th, Rexburg Police Department officially announced an investigation into the disappearance of Tylee and JJ. January of this year, that's 2020, Rexburg Police Department and FBI searched Chad and Tammy's former home in Idaho. 25th of January, local authorities locate Chad and Lori in Kauai and serve Lori with court order requiring her to produce the children. January 30th, Lori misses court order deadline. February 10th, CBS News reports police found Tylee's cell phone with Lori's belongings in Hawaii. February 16th, Lori and Chad leave Kauai for Maui. February 20th, Lori Vallow was arrested in Kauai and charged with 2 felony accounts. February 24th, in child custody court documents, Brandon Boudreau claims that his ex-wife, Melanie Boudreau, niece of Lori Vallow, her new husband revealed to law enforcement that she conspired with her uncle Alex to kill Brandon. Brandon also alleges in these papers that police are investigating Melanie's role in the disappearance of the children, as well as in the shooting at Brandon, the attempted drive-by shooting. Which this whole thing is just a gigantic clusterfuck. I'm not laughing at it. I'm just
the insanity of it all.
Insane. February 26th, in an extradition hearing, judge refuses to lower Lori's bail, so it remains at $5 million, which apparently Lori can't afford. Oh no!
Aww.
So
she could afford to, abandon her children and get married in Kauai.
Yeah, so she remains incarcerated in Kauai. March 6th, in the first hearing after being extradited from Hawaii to Idaho, court lowers bail from $5 million to $1 million. March 9th, Lori remains in jail. Local bail bonds companies decline to work with her.
I wonder if she is that because she can afford a decent attorney.
What?
Attorneys can always negotiate or talk a judge down for bail amount.
She's at $1 million bail right now.
Yeah, but it was $5 million. So what I'm saying is, like, if she had a really good lawyer, a really good lawyer could talk it down from 5 to 1. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to establish, like, maybe she how much money she might have that she could have
if she had enough money, she could afford the bail. She's still in jail, so that tells me that she doesn't have $100,000. Kay Woodcock, June 9th, human remains, and besides, bail bond companies won't work with her because she's a flight risk.
Yeah.
So yesterday, June 9th, human remains were found on Chad Daybell's property in Idaho. Daybell was booked into jail that same day on charges of obstruction and concealment. June 10th, Kay Woodcock, the biological grandmother of J.J. Vallow, announces that one of the sets of human remains belongs to Vallow. The Ryan family confirmed that the second of remains belonged to Tylee. Authorities have not officially announced the results of the autopsy, so we don't know how they died. However, they have confirmed that the remains are of these 2 children. And from my remembrance of doing this story, we wanted to keep an eye on it. And I happened to come across this story for one reason or another. It was on a Facebook feed.
I saw it pop up about the remains being found.
So I know, but I didn't know enough about what's going on with Chad. Now, the Chad.
It's the Chad.
The Chad. Chad.
What a horrible name. I hate that fucking name. It sounds like one of the laziest names, you know what I mean? No offense to any fans of the show that are named Chad, but it just...
What was the worst name in English history?
I think, you know what it is? It's a personal prejudice, because every person I've known that was named Chad was a piece of shit. That's probably why.
Chad Guy Daybell. Yeah, I mean, that just sounds lazy, like the parents just didn't care. Chad Guy.
Is Chad short for something?
Chadwick.
Oh.
Sometimes.
Well, I mean, Chadwick Boseman, I mean, he's Black Panther, but he can afford to go by the name Chadwick if he wants to, because, he's a good actor, so.
Chad Daybell. So Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow were a doomsday couple. That's what they are. What does Chad Daybell do for a living?
I don't know. Didn't you say he was a minister?
Chad has become a noted author and publisher, and he's particularly well known for his futuristic LDS novels that are based on what he has been shown. He has also helped several people publish books about their own near-death experiences. Chad Daybell, Living on the Edge of Heaven. Now, I can't find anything on Chad Daybell. There we go, Chad Daybell books. Reclaiming Liberty, The Great Gathering, An Errand for Emma, Living on the Edge of Heaven, Evading Babylon, Chasing Paradise, One Foot in the Grave, Days of Fury. He's written a lot of fucking books. Chad Daybell is a Mormon novelist who's been at the center of an entangled web of missing children. It's not really an entangled web. He killed his kids. He killed those kids, not his kids. He has an official website, C. Daybell, about Chad. Here we go. Chad has been working in the publishing business for the past 2 decades and has written more than 25 books. The Times of Turmoil series is a sequel to Chad's best-selling, never heard of him, Standing in Holy Places series, which continues to find success in both the LDS books, Latter-day Saints, bookstores and national retail chains. He's also known for his other novels such as Chasing Paradise and the Emma trilogy, as well as his nonfiction books for youth, including The Aaronic Priesthood and The Youth of Zion. He and his wife Tammy also created the Tiny Talk series for primary children. He's currently the president of Spring Creek Book Company. No, he's not. Oh, look, Creek Books, error establishing a database connection.
Well, I mean, if you look at this picture right here of Lori Vallow in court, she looks like Chelsea Handler. So right there, I fucking hate her.
Nice. I don't like her because she looks like Chelsea.
I mean, look, Chelsea Handler could play her in a fucking movie, dude.
I mean, she's kind of good looking.
Well, yeah, there's more attractive pictures of her. There's pictures of her made up and shit. She looks attractive when she's made up.
Okay.